Hello and welcome to the final episode of Becoming an Amateur Racing Driver. Massive appreciation to everyone who has tuned into this series, is massively appreciated, and I hope it's somewhat given you a bit of an insight about what you could be doing in the run up to your first motor race. So today we're going to be focusing on the race day itself, the big event, and what most people are looking forward to when they get their license right at the start of this journey. This is the day everyone is hopefully looking forward to. So of course it kind of goes without saying, before you get to your first motor race you have needed to sign up to the club and series that you want to race in, ensuring you've paid all of the entry fees and ticking all the right boxes to make sure you're actually going to be eligible once you get onto the track as well. Of course you've got to make sure before you get to the venue as well your car is eligible for the championship. There are sometimes some niche rules that you need to make sure that you abide by, so just do the double, triple check before you get to the venue or before you start your journey, just so that you're not embarrassed once you get there. But nonetheless, once you get to the circuit and get unloaded, if you do get there the day before the event and you can sort of get checked in early, it's probably best going to get your car checked over by the scrutineers. So mostly in club racing, at least, your racing will all go on one day, so you'll probably maybe do the testing on the day before. So it's a Saturday race and a Friday test session. You do your test session in the Friday and then you go over and get the car scrutineered in the evening. That's kind of how it worked for me on the two times I went to go ahead and do my first motor race, so it might be similar for you as well. So it's probably worth doing the scrutineering on the Friday if you are able to, but if you're not, you can still do this on race day. It's not going to give you any sort of penalty, but of course if they do find something they need tweaking, it gives you the opportunity to go ahead and fix it if you find out on the Friday rather than the Saturday or the Sunday, and you might not have enough time or the spares ready at hand to go and make the changes. So it's probably best if you can get that scrutineering done as soon as possible. You'll also want to go and sign on to the event, just like a normal track day. You need to sign on and make sure you've sort of signed off every bit of paperwork needed to go racing. So there'll be sort of a little club office. I think you've just got to fill in a couple of forms and obviously take your license and a couple of other things just to make sure that they know that you are, who you say you are on the entry forms, and you are the person who's going to be out on track come race day. So apart from that, you'll probably also need to add on some sponsor stickers. Most championships, even at club level, do have sponsor stickers. Just to help the clubs run. Basically, they're sponsored by a couple of companies and giving the people in the club opportunity to get discounted parts. You'll probably be required to display some stickers on your car. So don't be expecting to go into your first race with a totally plain car. There will be stickers on your car, so that's something to think about, I guess. If you have sponsors, whether there'll be two sort of rival brands on your car, maybe it's something worth thinking about, but I don't think it really matters too much in club motorsport. I guess at the end of the day, the reason for the sponsors are just to keep the clubs alive, which is obviously very important, and obviously give a few benefits to the members as well. So it's hopefully a win-win for everyone, but just be aware there will be, in some series at least, quite a lot of stickers you might not need to stick on, so you might need a couple of hours, especially the one for the windscreen, sometimes the strip at the top there. That can take quite a lot of time, especially if you're by yourself, because it's normally a two-person job. So hopefully at this point you leave the car either to go and stay in a hotel overnight or camp, or you're basically going straight into the race event. You could be doing all of this on one day, or you could be doing this all on the Friday before the race weekend. Give yourself obviously more time. It's ideal to come on the day before to give yourself a bit of preparation, but of course that's not possible for everyone. So yeah, once that's done, you'll be able to go over to sort of get ready for your first session. So be sure to take your car over to the holding area. Of course, sometimes you'll be located in the pit lane, but only if you're sort of the main championship at the event. Of course, most of the time you're going to be supporting someone, so you'll be driving over to the holding area before your session, so be going over there probably 10-15 minutes before your session is due to start, and of course it's once again advisable to be there early. So in club racing, qualifying is normally happening on the same day as the race, just to sort of keep costs down, but give yourself just some time to play with here. Don't leave it to the last minute and expect it all to go well. Try and plan out your day well. So get to the holding area in good time, and of course it's better to be early there than late, because you don't want to be wasting any track time, because of course it's expensive, even more expensive than doing stuff like track days. So you want to get your money's worth partly, but also you want to get valuable laps in. I mean, you could be doing a couple of extra laps if you get there on time rather than arriving 3 minutes late. Now, in club racing you don't normally have a practice session. Maybe in this slightly bigger championships that's a possibility, but most club sessions only have a qualifying and a race, or a qualifying and 2 races. So get the most out of that time there, because let's be perfectly honest, as I've said already, it's an expensive sport, so you want to be making the most of every opportunity. So in my opinion, at least from my experience in go-karting, getting the perfect qualifying lap is probably one of the most rewarding feelings. It's basically you, the track in maybe a good condition, and hopefully less traffic than you'll probably get in the race. And it's where a lot of people get their fastest lap time of the race weekend, is there in the qualifying session, kind of when the pressure is on to get the result in maybe a one-mate championship, for example. But I guess in club racing, maybe it doesn't matter so much. I mean, most people are focused on getting to the race, and if that means just taking it easy in qualifying, like I did in my race, just to make sure that you get to the race without any trouble, that's what a lot of people probably do. They get in there, they get the experience, understand how the car's behaving at that certain point in time, but they're not maybe pushing it to 100%. Whereas of course some people like to push it to 100% and make sure they nail that lap, just so they know where the limits are. So depending on the club you race with, there'll probably be a safety briefing at some points. That could be before qualifying, it could be after qualifying, but I think some don't even have them at all. But it's definitely worth going and getting involved with that, just to understand. I think definitely first timer meetings are something that you need to go to. I went to one when I raced with the CMMCS, and it was nice to really just understand what was happening and the layout of the weekend just in a little bit more detail, and it allowed me to relax a little bit more. So definitely advise that, going to especially the rookies drivers meeting. If you haven't driven on the venue before, you'll be going to one of those in your first year. Now, in that time between qualifying and the race, be sure to give yourself a little bit of time to sort of relax and just take it all in, because of course if you're going to this as your first event, it's kind of like a surreal experience for a lot of people. At least it was for me. I mean, it's been something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, so finally to be able to sort of get it done is really, really nice. And you sort of just don't, well, I didn't really take it in at the time. It's certainly now reflectively I realise how cool the day was. But yeah, just try and give yourself some time to sort of drink in the atmosphere and just enjoy it. But one thing I also mentioned, maybe in this break between the qualifying session and the race, is try not to eat too much. I know that sounds a really weird bit of advice, but of course you don't want to be feeling ill when you're taking part in your race, especially your first ever motor race. That wouldn't be a great start. So after any final checks, it'll be time to get ready for the race. So of course this is the bit of the weekend everyone's looking forward to, so make sure that everything is just laid out properly, and it's just ready for you to go out there and enjoy the racing. So of course get to the holding area in good time. Once again, you don't want to be late. I mean, of course if you are, you'll either start from the pit lane or at the back of the grid, and of course if you've qualified well, that's something you definitely don't want to be doing. But yeah, also getting there early gives you a little bit of time to just sort of get in the right mindset, hopefully not worry too much, basically is kind of what I'm saying here, is because I think I got there early, the first few minutes I was worrying, and then I was just sort of just taking it in, and it's like just telling myself in my head, I can do this. It's very similar to a track day, so just go out there and enjoy it, really. I wasn't really expecting any sort of results. I just wanted to go out there and enjoy it, and thankfully I did. But yeah, I didn't need to worry so much, I think is what I'm trying to say. But once you get out there, do the warm-up lap and sort of sit on the grid, just focus on getting a good enough start, and I guess away you go. So in the race, I think the most important thing, once again, is just to enjoy yourself. Don't take too many risks in your first motor race, especially if you're like myself, didn't have too much experience in a racing car on a racing circuit. So just, learn as much as possible, really, and learn and enjoy, but don't get too worried if you're slow. I mean, I was slow, I wasn't worrying about it, I was just trying to sort of get to the point where I handed over the car. But in sprint races, obviously you just want to try and maybe set a good lap time in there, but just don't put too much pressure on yourself to expect anything in your first race. And it's still something I'm going to tell myself going to, doing extra stuff, is because, putting pressure on myself is always, I guess it's always not really the best thing. It's a bit of a negative in a way, so try your best not to do that. But hopefully you'll have a good lap time. Hopefully you can get involved in a little battle here and there just to enjoy it a little bit more. But nonetheless, once the race is over, take some time to sort of debrief with yourself and understand what happened, how the event went, and yeah, hopefully you'll feel great after your first motor race. I think most people will, sort of achieving a dream, especially for me that I'd held for so long. It was a really nice feeling to just sort of have that finally ticked and say I did it. Of course, it's always common to go and view the prize giving, even if you didn't end up on the podium yourself. It's always courtesy to the other drivers that did get on the podium to go there and do that. Of course, you'd want other people to do it for yourself, so do it if you can. Understandably, if you're traveling 6 or 7 hours to get back home, maybe it's something that you will have to unfortunately skip. But if you can, go to the prize giving. It's always nice to sort of show your face and be a part of that community, because at the end of the day, all of the drivers there are there for the same thing, especially in club racing, having a bit of fun. And yeah, building that nice little community between people is always a great thing. But as I've said already numerous times in this video, try and enjoy your first motor race, and maybe you'll be coming back in the not so distant future. And of course, if you're going to be going on to do more races in that first season, just learn from it, know what you can prepare better for the next one, and hopefully you'll just see better results coming as the events come on. But nonetheless, that is it for this sort of mini series on my channel. I really appreciate everyone who has tuned in. It's been a lot of fun to record this, and yeah, I'm very, very appreciative to everyone that has tuned in, actually. I mean, I realise the viewing figures are way down on what my old gaming videos and F1 topic videos used to be, but this is what I truly want to do now, and I realise that there's a new viewership hopefully coming, so I appreciate everyone that's commented and just sort of stayed with me here. So thank you for viewing, I appreciate it, and hopefully in the next week or so you'll be seeing the first part of my 2020 journey. So yeah, exciting stuff is just around the corner for the channel, and I'll see you very soon. So thank you for watching, have a great evening, day, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you around soon for another video. Thanks, it's been Alex, I'm out here. Goodbye.